Good morning, Instagram. I'm here a couple minutes early to get my live started, make sure everyone knows that I am online. Good morning. Having a sip of coffee, letting the algorithm do its thing. All right. Gonna let Facebook chime in too. So give me a minute here. Hey, Heather. All right, Facebook. My dog is licking himself right outside my bedroom door, which is super fun. So I just hear the sounds of a licking dog. It's a way to start the day. So we're going to talk about managing the difference between responding and reacting, because I think there's a lot of reacting going on out there in the world. And so we'll practice that as soon as we hit 7 o'clock. Just try to be present with what is today. My dog wants to come in this room and I'm not letting him. He's just licking away outside my door. And so we'll settle in. I'm going to pick a card from my affirmators deck. It's the funniest thing I have experienced as far as decks of cards, self-help, and it's a combination of both. So when I hit 7 o'clock, I'll just pull one of those cards and we'll see what happens, because they're so funny. They make me very happy to use in the morning as a tool. So let's just breathe together before we start at 7. Noticing your lungs expand, your ribs expand, what your breath feels like in your body today. Maybe your nose is clogged like mine from allergies. Maybe one side's more powerful than the other. Whatever it is, just noticing what's up with your body today, what's up with your breath today. Maybe grab a tissue. I probably should have done that. It's all right. So being present with what is in your body today. Going to pick a card from my deck here. It's going to be fun. Let's see. All right, this one. All right, you'll see it first before I do. Ooh, I think it's instructions. Not a good card to have today. Okay, pulling from somewhere else on that side. That was an instruction card. Maybe I need some instructions. All right, what does this say? You see on both sides. So it says Joyville and no judgment. So I release myself from any and all judgments. I find my inner critic, call it into my office, and tell it to take a vacation. As it leaves the room, I let out a sigh and begin to enjoy the joy of simple being. Who hired that guy anyway? Hilarious. Okay, so there's like a little raccoon lemur type thing jumping into Joyville. I hope you guys can see it. I'll pull it back. So that's my affirmators deck for today. No judgment. That feels appropriate, right? So this deck is super funny. Makes me happy. And it's a good way to set an intention in the morning, right? Sometimes I don't want to rely on my own brain because it's not always reliable. Not first thing in the morning, and certainly not during this stressful time, right? Why make it work extra? So we can take no judgment and kind of work with it, right? No judging ourselves. Who hired that guy anyway? That's something to continue to think about, right? Why do we allow that into our lives? And part of, I can post the deck later. Yeah, totally. Actually, I'll put it in the group so you can see. So it's a deck I got on Amazon, but it's like a self-help. I have a notebook by them too. It's also really funny. It's a really good product line. So as we think about no judgment, it's a pretty good segue into feeling and noticing our reactions. because what's been happening and what I felt out in the world, oh, hey, Tom, is that we're reacting a lot. If you have kids at home, if you're living with your partner and you're spending way more time together than ever before, they both or one of them might be annoying you. Maybe a lot, maybe a little. My kid has emerged into all kinds of awesome toddler ways, which are both wonderful. She's singing to herself, she's playing, her imagination has exploded, but she's also very challenging and very confrontational and, testing her limits. And it's super age appropriate, but it's much harder right now because we have no escape, right? Our partners, our bosses, right? People can access us so much more right now because we're all at home. So it can be really challenging to, deal with these dynamics. And so we might be reacting a lot. I did a very informal, unscientific poll on my stories earlier last week, over the weekend. Honestly, couldn't tell you. And what I found was that people were really reacting. They agree that my assessment of reaction is pretty big. So I want to take a minute and think about who you're reacting to. I don't have a cool mug today. I was feeling traditional or maybe like classic. I think I was feeling classic coffee. So you can see, got my coffee and cream in here. It's not dairy creamer, just for the record. I don't do dairy, but there's creamer in there. But I have a kind of boring mug, but it's very cool on the inside. So if you can see, Facebook, the light's not great, but that's okay. So let me know what mug you guys have. Have a sip of coffee. And take this minute to think about what you've reacted to recently. Coworker, virus, child, boss, friend, parent, whatever it is. And set that down and think about this experience of reacting. Probably not your proudest moment, but that's the thing about reactions. You don't think it through before you do it. And if you did, you might not say or do the thing you said or did. So let's float our eyes closed. And keep thinking about that moment. What you said, what the other person said, how you were feeling in your body. What did your body feel like? My allergies are bad. My eyes will not open. I'm noticing that when I close them, how nice that feels. So who did you react to? What did you say? What did they say? Right? Did your kid run away crying? That's sometimes what happens here. Or was your boss stunned? Was your partner stunned in silence? Right? Or did an argument ensue? Or did you choose to walk away? Well, if you reacted, you didn't. Sorry. So what did you do that you could change in this visualization and do differently going forward? So the analogy that I like, there's a few of them, but the one that I think works really is toothpaste, right? A reaction is like toothpaste. You squeeze that out, you slam on it, and toothpaste shoots out of that tube. There's no getting it back in. Makeup works too. If you blop out too much makeup, it's never going back in. Shampoo, whatever. I feel like there's a bee analogy, but I don't remember. Anyway, we can't take it back. It's really almost impossible. We can apologize. We could do different. Sorry, I'm getting a foot cramp. But we've done the reacting. We set a bad role model. We weren't a good role model. We've shown our kids, friends, bosses, parents that we're going to yell and snap. Versus taking a minute, thinking it through, and then saying something. So let's take another minute here and visualize what we could have done differently in that scenario. Could you have taken a sip of water or coffee? Could you have walked away, counted to 6? Could you have said, I need a minute? Right? What could you have done, made a different choice, and maybe even, as you're hearing the words come into your head, sometimes when I'm in therapy, my clients will see me go like this. Because one, I don't want to interrupt maybe what they're saying, or I'm about to say something and I shouldn't, or it is a reaction, right? And I need to think about it. If you're on a Zoom call, you can mute yourself. I've done that when I've like been feeling really chatty and I want to contribute a lot, but other people aren't getting a chance to talk. You can just reach up and boop, boop, mute yourself, right? So there's a lot of opportunities to not react. You could pretend you dropped something, like, oh, head off camera. Also in real life, like when you're with another person, if that's happening for you, right? You can pick up something to just buy yourself some time to think about what you're saying, because you really might regret and it's hard to take back. So how do you mindfully do that? How do you choose? You have to be really aware of what's going on in your mind, and also what's happening in your body. When you're angry, when you're feeling resentful, when you're about to react, there's definitely a body sensation. There's a physiological response that's happening for you, but you might not be aware of it. I have a lot of clients who are in like medical professions. They don't even notice, because it's just an automatic thing we've been doing so long. Maybe your hands like make a fist, right? Like it's down at your side, but like maybe it makes a fist. Maybe you start grinding your teeth, or you bite your lip. Maybe your heart rate goes up. You get like red splotches on your chest, or your cheeks flush, your ears get red, right? There's some signs. So you have to pay attention to them. Be aware of what's going on in your body so that you can communicate better. And so I want you to take another minute now and visualize that same interaction, again, using one of the skills we just talked about. Oh, my hair is itching me. Cannot wait to get a haircut. Hey, Carrie. So let's think about how you answered somebody with a reaction and consider responding instead. Just take a moment here. What would you have done different? Anyone want to share? Watch my numbers go instantly down. Anyone want to share? Boop, 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 boop. See? I just lost half my audience on Facebook. It's kind of amazing. Isn't that fun? Or maybe it's just at the same time every week when I ask a question, but I doubt it. It's only when I ask for audience participation. That's okay. We'll climb back up. So for me, I'm trying to think of an example yesterday. It's mostly with my kid or my partner, right? My husband, that I will react because we're just stuck together a lot and it's challenging. They're both wonderful and one of them is watching right now. But it's very challenging because we're stuck together, because we are doing so many things and running in different directions and have so many responsibilities. It's easy to react instead of going, oh, this person cares about me. Oh, my kid is very much reliant on me. So taking that opportunity to go, give me a second, let me think, and taking a few steps backwards, right? Or just saying like, I gotta pee, I'll be right back, right? Taking that time for a moment to walk away, buy yourself time so you can remember that the person communicating to you, Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec has a great way of interpreting that at town meetings, right? Like that she hears people yelling at her as like loving her and caring loudly. Ooh, someone shared an example. All right, let's see. Micromanage. Oof, that's a tough one. Yeah, so, right, you can, yeah, if you're being micromanaged, that is an infuriating one. So, like, let's validate that. Right? And so you can pat yourself on the back for not reacting. Yeah, so you can give yourself, like, prizes for not reacting. That's amazing. And let me do things the way you want. Right? That's a great example. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes. you can give yourself credit for not reacting and doing what they want. And or maybe because you know that they're micromanaging, like practicing a little acceptance of people's very ridiculous behaviors. So that, and remembering it's not about you, right? That's their own problem. Micromanagers are the worst. The worst. It's not a great leadership style. Yes, and finding, right, exactly, finding loopholes, right? Like doing generally what that person has asked and maybe finding a way to get your stuff in there too, right? Like weaving that in and just remembering that that's not about you and maybe it's time to get a different job, place shimmy around in the department, right? But yes, knowing that it's not about you and that you don't have to react, right? Because potentially they want a reaction, right? Micromanagers clearly have trust issues. That's a really big part of it. And so if they don't trust anybody, that's pretty sad. Also, you're a shitty manager. Sorry. I don't generally curse, right? It's a terrible management style. It just reveals a lot about their own problems. They don't trust their staff. Well, why are you a boss? Just do it all yourself then. There's control that comes up there. Yeah. Ooh, tapped right into a whole bunch of stuff that we won't have a ton of time for. But good job for finding loopholes and not reacting. That's excellent, right? We all have different scenarios that we're going to be in to find a way to not give that person what they want, because a little bit they want that tug. It lets them know they have the power and that control over you, and don't let them have the satisfaction. That's okay too. It's actually deeply satisfying. So as we round our way down to our last minute or two, I want to do a little gratitude practice and we'll close this out, right? The card, for anyone who wasn't here in the beginning, is about not judging. And so maybe we don't judge your boss, even though it's a terrible leadership style. But we remember that judgment isn't helpful. Reacting isn't helpful either, because mostly you'll be full of regret and maybe get in trouble at work, right? The other person's going to be okay, and they get to be mad at you for your behavior. That sucks. Let's not do that. And so we breathe. We feel and notice our body. We give ourselves an internal high five, right? We're not high-fiving anyone else anymore, but we already have our own germs, so it's good to go here. I am so grateful for everybody who showed up today, especially those who participated. Thank you so much. And I want to just say thank you. If you are not in my Facebook group, you should be. Join us in there. I've got some new stuff lined up. I've got some new ideas cooking in this noggin of mine. And when we're trying to not be judgmental, it gives us the space to try stuff out and fall on our faces or be successful, right? This live meditation is always a work in progress, and a lot of people have jumped on the live bandwagon since this quarantine, so I welcome them to the party. Thank you so much. Let's do a breath together. You could sigh it out or purse your lips. I'll do the other one just so you could see. Takes a really long time. I could keep going, but I won't. But it really helps regulate your nervous system and kind of manages that parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system response, right? Our survive, fight or flight, fawn, freeze reaction. It really helps manage that. So thanks for sticking around, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.